The first topic today will close different actions which we can undertake to promote sustainable fashion production. Fashion production is connected with various global problems such as increase of waste, climate change, biodiversity loss, land degradation, cruelty to animals during agricultural and production process, and unfair working conditions. And if we look to these problems, we can see that potentially they can be tackled if we put correct goal and follow this goal. And the goal we set during our conversation today is to achieve 100% sustainable fashion production. This can be achieved by complex usage of sustainable practices at different production levels. Many companies follow this rule today, or they use at least sustainable practices at some production levels.
Hi everyone, my name is Anjita, and my topic today is slow fashion in a fast fashion world. Well, the first slide that Olga just presented already set the stage for sustainable fashion, but fashion also has a dark side to it, and I will highlight that a little bit. Nowadays, you see something on the runway today, and instantly it's in stores next week at an unbelievably lower price. That's known to everyone. So, that kind of business model is called fast fashion. Fast fashion is basically a model of business that is designed for rapid production, affordability, and mass consumption. It's fashion on steroids, which is produced fast, it's also cheap, and it also looks very tempting because there's always something new to wear and new to see for the eyes of the audience. But here's the catch: this buy more, pay less model comes at a hidden cost. According to the UN Environment Program, the fashion industry produces between 2 to 8% of global carbon emissions, with textile dyeing being the second largest polluter of water globally, which is a very huge contributor. And in relation to this, we should also not forget about the human cost. Many workers behind these clothes face poor wages and unsafe working conditions. And also, when we talk about originality, some fashion brands, like fast fashion brands, undermine the intellectual property of other brands by making it a habit of borrowing designs from high end labels, also from sustainable brands and independent artists and artisans all over the world. But what if I say that this dark side to fashion also has a better way? That way can be known as slow fashion. Slow fashion, it's basically a completely opposite to fast fashion. In slow fashion, instead of mass producing cheap garments that fall apart after a few washes, slow fashion focuses on quality over quantity. It's about ethical sourcing, fair wages, and making sure that clothes you wear don't cost the planet or its people. Likewise, Animana can be taken as an excellent example of slow fashion in today's fast fashion world. And a key player in this transformative journey of slow fashion is definitely fair trade. The fair trade principles ensure that garment workers and artisans receive fair wages, work in safe conditions, and have access to fundamental labor rights. Transparent supply chains and corporate sustainability commitments are also crucial to making fashion not only more ethical, but also more responsible. So, next time you are shopping, ask yourself, is this outfit worth the real price? Because fashion should not be about expressing yourself, it should be about expressing yourself, not exploiting others.
My name is Milena, and today I will be talking about the creation of green jobs and what the challenge is. So, like Anjita just said, we currently live in a society where you want to buy the newest fashion, and the companies want to make as much profit as they can. They don't think about if it's sustainable, does it give a fair income? No, it's the opposite of that. However, regarding slow fashion, that is an example of green job. So I'm going to be talking about green jobs in a circular economy. In the circular economy, we focus on reduce, reuse, and recycle. And to create these green jobs, we focus on fair income towards the worker, the freedom to express their concern, to feel more secure in the workplace, and also to have prospects in personal development. So it doesn't only think about the environment, but also the social responsibility of the person and the worker, and giving the freedom for them to express themselves. As it sounds like a nice idea, there's also challenges of creating these green jobs. And I have identified from my research two main problems. The first one is the lack of trust coming from the workers and the people. So the circular economy still rarely challenges the imperative of economic growth. So what I just explained, that you want to have more profit and more profit. Even in the circular economy, this is not always the case. Like I said, with companies, even if they promote sustainability, it might not always be so black and white. So in the workplace hierarchies, the worker agency is still not very mentioned in these new commodity chains of circular economy. And I have an example of this, wind farms in Greece. So in Greece, there's lots of land to create wind farms. However, the local community is still very skeptical because usually it's foreign investment that comes and takes their land in order to make these wind farms. But in the end, there's very few benefits towards the local community, and because the investment is going to other countries. So this creates really a lack of trust between the local community and the investment, as well as the local community and the government. And the second of all, the lack of resources. This is especially present in small and medium businesses, and also in times of crisis, because there's no money to invest in sustainability, because you have to put your business and your own family first. So if the government really wants to create green jobs in a circular economy, they need to provide more resources, create more trust, because right now there's a lack of grassroots engagement.
I want to highlight now a major obstacle that threatens the integrity of fair trade and sustainability, which is greenwashing. While many companies, in fact, claim to champion ethical sourcing and environmental responsibility, some of these promises are nothing more than marketing tactics, so words without action. This deception not only misleads consumers, but also slows down real progress in creating fair trade systems that work for everyone. Greenwashing is when companies misrepresent their sustainability efforts, making the public believe they're doing more for the environment or ethical trade than they actually are. In the context of fair trade, greenwashing is particularly dangerous. It gives the illusion that we are meeting our goals, so ensuring fair wages, ethical sourcing, and sustainable production, when in reality, exploitation and inequality continue behind the scenes. If we don't recognize this risk, we risk celebrating progress that doesn't exist. When companies engage in greenwashing, they mask real problems, make ethical brands harder to distinguish from dishonest ones, and slow down meaningful change. By identifying greenwashing, we can demand transparency, hold companies accountable, and push for real fair trade practices, so not just words but action. As we work towards system-wide fair trade, let's stay critical, let's dig deeper, let's make sure that sustainability and ethics aren't just marketing buzzwords, but genuine commitments to fairness, equity, and truth. Only then we can build a world where fair trade is truly fair for everyone and responsible brands are actually responsible, ethical, and sustainable.
Part of the system change we have to transit finally, because if not, nothing is enough and nothing is important finally. It is what fashion makes